On this show, we don't hear from LeBron James before we hear from Stephen A. Just for future reference. On this show, you understand what I'm saying? He comes second. On this show, Big Perk, he comes second, okay? You hear from us first. So good morning. That's how we should have started off everything. It ain't your fault, Shaq. It ain't your fault. But to the producers there for future reference, no. He's second. You understand what I'm saying? He's second, not first. This is first take.
So Stephen A. Smith just completely asserted his media hierarchy and then delivered surgical analysis on why LeBron's meltdown isn't panic time. We're getting vintage Stephen A., the ego, the basketball IQ, and brutal honesty about Houston's embarrassing collapse. Let's break this down.
LeBron James, everything about it is an aberration. I'm not concerned at all about what we saw from him in Game 4. LeBron James was phenomenal the first 3 games of this series. It was a bad game. You know, my view of him after the Game 4 loss is that, it was fatigue.
This fatigue diagnosis is exactly right. At 41, LeBron's averaging 35 minutes in the playoffs, more than players 15 years younger. The statistical drop from 27, 7, and 8 in the first 3 games to 10, 0, and 9 screams exhaustion, not decline. Basic sports science supports this take completely.
41 years of age, 23rd season, being out there on the basketball court, no Luka, no Austin Reeves, and Houston was desperate. They were on the brink of elimination, down 3-0. They had to do what they had to do to survive.
Absolutely crucial context here. Houston was literally facing elimination after getting dominated 3 straight games. They threw everything at an undermanned Lakers team, missing their second and third best players. That desperation created the perfect storm for LeBron's worst playoff game in years.
He was averaging about 19 shots, only took about 9 shots last night, 10 points, 9 assists. You know what I'm saying? Only made 2 field goals. We know that's not LeBron James. That was a complete aberration. To me, Wednesday night, you'll see a level of normalcy towards LeBron James because it'll be 2 additional days of rest. He will be much, much more ready Wednesday than he was yesterday. And I don't make much of what happened in Game 4 to LeBron James at all.
These numbers tell the whole story. LeBron went from taking 19 shots per game to just 9. That's not age, that's a completely gassed player. 2 field goals in a playoff game, that's happened maybe 5 times in his career. Pure aberration.
The fact of the matter is, Houston should be all over the Rockets like back pockets. They've been atrocious. There's no excuse for them to be down 3-0 in this series, with or without KD. Without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, you don't go down 3-0 to a Lakers team led by a 41-year-old in his 23rd season with a bunch of supplementary parts we barely talk about, when Luka and Austin Reeves are around. Luke Kennard deserves all the credit in the world for his performance in Game 1. We know he's a sniper. We know he's a big-time shooter. He's been around the league for a lot.
This is the brutal truth Houston fans need to hear. They have Alperen Sengun, Fred VanVleet, and solid depth pieces. This roster should absolutely dominate a Lakers team without Doncic and Reeves. Being down 3-0 to a 41-year-old supporting cast is organizational malpractice.
How are you, the Houston Rockets, led by Ime Udoka, playing with Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson and those brothers, and you down 3-0 to the Los Angeles Lakers, sans Luka and AR. That is disgraceful. And you had every right to call them out. The city of Houston had every right to call them out. And as far as I'm concerned, if they lose Wednesday night, they should still be called out. And even though KD is hurt, we all find ourselves looking at KD like, damn, you don't have anything.
The roster criticism is spot on. Ime Udoka is a proven coach. Jabari Smith Jr. was the 3rd overall pick, and they have legitimate NBA talent. Getting outplayed by Austin Rivers and Christian Wood's replacements should trigger serious soul searching in Houston's front office.
You can't get on that basketball court and he must really, really be hurt because this is KD we talking about here, who looks for an excuse to play basketball, who wants you to, I don't know whether the stories were true or not, Big Perk, you would know, but if there was a nightclub to go to, he'd roll up in there with a basketball and a sweatsuit. I mean, this is how much this brother loves basketball. So when KD is sitting out and not playing, that is shocking that he is not available for a couple of playoff games in the first round. That's really, really shocking.
That nightclub line is hilarious, but makes a serious point. Durant has played through everything. Broken foot, Achilles recovery, you name it. When someone that obsessed with basketball sits out playoff games, the injury has to be legitimately severe. Houston lost their best player.
There's no excuse for them to be down, to ever have been down 3-0 in this series without Luka and AR on the court. There is no excuse for that, and they deserve to be crucified for it.
The accountability message is harsh but necessary. Professional sports demands results, and Houston had every advantage except health. No excuses when you're getting outworked and outcoached by a skeleton crew Lakers roster missing half their rotation players.
I think this is a complete overreaction by Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins. I think he's doing it because he's addicted to his pick. He's got the San Antonio Spurs winning the championship. So, I mean, asking Big Perk this question is like asking him is the sky is blue. It's like asking him is Beaumont, Texas is home. It's like asking him, did he mind sitting courtside with Tracy Morgan and the crew? I mean, duh. We know what Perk's answer's going to be because it validates his point. And you know Perk don't want to shift at all from his position. I ain't minding that. I love you for it. But Perk ain't trying to budge. His big ass, he ain't trying to move nowhere. Ain't nobody gonna move him either unless absolutely positively necessary. He got the Spurs winning the championship, so it's very, very predictable what he was going to say.
This meta commentary on analyst bias is brilliant media literacy. Perkins picked San Antonio to win the title, so of course he'll overreact to any positive Spurs development. Understanding these underlying motivations helps viewers parse sports media much more intelligently.
I don't blame you for feeling that way, my brother, because I was impressed that the Spurs did not look phased at all down 17. They were like, it looked like they just said, you know what, let's just stop playing games. Let's just stop playing the games. But let's understand why they were able to do that. It's because it was against the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, we respect what we're seeing from the Portland Trail Blazers. We need to respect it. Scoot Henderson, I'm a fan. I'm a big-time fan. Obviously, I'm a big-time fan. And when Dame Dollar comes back next year, Dame Time is in the building. It's going to be a little bit different. I can't wait to see Dame Time back in the mix, especially with Scoot Henderson in that backcourt, because I'm thinking about Tyrese Maxey.
Balanced analysis right here. Credit San Antonio's composure while acknowledging Portland isn't exactly championship competition. The Damian Lillard comparison to Tyrese Maxey shows real basketball IQ. Both explosive guards who can carry mediocre supporting casts in spurts.
They're not ready yet. We understand that. They're a good young team. They got talent. They're feisty. They can come at you. But they ain't ready for this. San Antonio's a different level. We got to understand that. San Antonio was not going up against an OKC, even though they beat them 4 out of 5 times in the regular season this year. They're not going against an OKC or somebody like that. They're not going against a Boston. They're going against the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland ain't ready yet. They're not ready for this moment. You got to go through your growing pains. That's what they're doing right now. And that's why I'm saying it's an overreaction on Big Perk's part.
This competition level distinction is everything in playoff analysis. San Antonio beat OKC 4 times in 5 regular season meetings, but Portland's young core isn't ready for postseason intensity. Context matters when evaluating impressive playoff performances and momentum shifts.
They ain't outscoring just anybody by 38 points in the second half. It's not about the win. They outscored Portland by 38 points. They were getting blown away in the first half and blew them out in the second half. It don't go down like that under normal circumstances. Perk knows better. He's just not going to admit it because that immovable object that he is not going to budge.
Oh,
that's all this is about, y'all.
A 38-point second half turnaround is historically rare in playoff basketball. It usually happens when one team completely quits or lacks veteran leadership. Portland's youth showed they couldn't handle adversity or make proper adjustments against Wembanyama's dominance.
The fact of the matter is, Portland, we know what Wemby can do. The problem is Portland doesn't pose much of a resistance defensively. That's the point that I'm making. Wemby's going to be Wemby. I understand that. But you can still beat the San Antonio Spurs, even with Wemby being Wemby, if you neutralize other people. Portland wasn't doing that because they're not equipped to do it. That's all I'm trying to say.
This defensive strategy breakdown is sophisticated analysis. Neutralizing Wembanyama requires elite perimeter defense and interior help. Portland simply doesn't have those personnel. Their young core gets overwhelmed by his combination of size, skill, and basketball intelligence.
Collectively speaking, and who they really hang their hat on are a bunch of young brothers that ain't ready yet. They're skilled. They're only going to learn from this. They'll be even better next year and the year beyond and the year beyond. But they ain't ready for a 7'5" dude with a supporting cast who ain't shying away from the smoke, ain't scared of anybody, okay? And you got to get like De'Aaron Fox who can ball, but you got to have something defensively to neutralize everybody else. And they can't do it. Other teams are going to be able to do what Portland can't do.
The development timeline assessment is crucial for understanding playoff basketball. Portland's core needs 2 to 3 more years to handle postseason pressure and make necessary adjustments. San Antonio's young players have that veteran poise despite their age. Rare championship trait.
That is not normal, but it was yesterday because it's the Portland Trail Blazers. That's the bottom line, and Big Perk knows that.
The bottom line perfectly captures modern sports media dynamics. Analysts make bold predictions, then defend them regardless of context. This isn't about basketball analysis anymore. It's about protecting professional credibility and maintaining consistent narratives for audience engagement.
Because, Shay, I live down here in H-Town in Houston, and the fan base and the media has been on the Rockets' asses like back pockets. You knew it was coming, S.A., but damn it, this was about the Rockets, and this was about the name on the front of the jerseys and the names on the back of the jerseys. Because no NBA player, no NBA organization wants to get swept.
Houston's media pressure creates a perfect storm scenario. Local fans and reporters have been relentless all season about the team's underachievement. That external criticism, combined with playoff elimination pressure, explains why they finally played with desperation and urgency.
And what we saw last night, when we saw the Rockets get back to their identity, right? Starting on the defensive end, the perimeter play from Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, those guys locking in, taking Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard out of the game, right? Basically holding both of those guys to under 10 points apiece. And we saw them get out in transition. And then offensively, we saw the Rockets finally make shots, which has been their Achilles heel all season long and in this series, starting with Reed Shepherd. They shot 40% from the three.
This tactical breakdown shows Houston's ceiling when everything clicks. Locking down the perimeter, getting transition buckets, and shooting 40% from three. That's exactly their identity. The problem is consistency. They've managed this level maybe 10 times all season.
And look, Shay, it was a lot of statements that were made over the weekend, right? When you think about Minnesota and what they doing to Denver, SGA and what he did down in Phoenix after being crucified about, getting fouled, with his foul the free throw merch and stuff like that. Obviously, Orlando doing some stuff, but San Antonio had the biggest statement over the weekend, and they silenced a lot of doubters, in my opinion, and showed why they're really on the verge of winning the NBA championship.
Perkins is connecting weekend playoff performances to larger championship narratives. Minnesota dismantling Denver, SGA bouncing back in Phoenix, and San Antonio's road comeback all suggest the playoff hierarchy is more fluid than expected. Youth movement gaining serious momentum.
And here they are, since Friday, going to a hostile environment in Portland on the road with a bunch of young guys. In game 3, they go in there without their guy, their generational talent, Stephon Castle 33, Dylan Harper 27. Okay, fast forward to yesterday's game. They down 19. They never fade. They never seem phased or anything. All of a sudden, they make a run, and we see De'Aaron Fox show up, Wemby show up in the fourth quarter. And what it showed me is that these guys are young, but they have old souls. And for them to pass that test on the road in the postseason, going into that hostile environment, dealing with some adversity, and still coming out 2-0, heading back to San Antonio, you damn right it erased all concerns concerning the San Antonio Spurs when it comes down to them being legit and possibly winning the NBA championship this year.
This old soul's observation hits the championship formula perfectly. Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper showing poise in hostile playoff environments at their age is historically rare. Most young players crack under that pressure. These guys embraced it and delivered clutch performances.
Shay, this is not about my pick. Look, don't listen to SA. This been my big brother for the last 7 years. I know what he's doing right now. I ain't taking the bait. Damn it, I'm standing on this. You want to know why? Because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And let's say last time I checked, Drew Holiday, who's the two-time champion, is over there in that Portland locker room. Robert Williams, who's from Boston, who was traded from Boston, is over there. A guy that had an effect on the game in Game 3. My thing is, look at the Wemby effect, right? Just think about this for a second. Yeah, they had to gut it out in Game 3 without him. Dylan Harper was ready for
The veteran presence argument has merit. Drew Holiday brings 2 championship rings and playoff experience, while Robert Williams provides elite rim protection. Portland isn't just young players. They have legitimate NBA talent that should compete better than this.
Wemby to me in Game 4 and his impact on both ends of the floor. He is an offensive system along with a defensive system. The way that he's able to set the tone and be able to anchor a defense, I've never seen anything like it in my life. When you think about when him taking out Klingon and Robert Williams and them having no impact whatsoever after Game 3. Klingon had 11 rebounds. Rob Williams had 11 and 9 off the bench. And all of a sudden, you see Wemby turn it up a notch. He came into Game 4 offensively shooting jump shot after jump shot after jump shot in the first half. And then all of a sudden, he realized, now I'm going to go get my bread and butter, and that's in the paint.
Wembanyama's in-game adjustments showcase elite basketball IQ that transcends age. Starting with perimeter shots, then recognizing he needed to attack the paint, that's veteran decision-making. His defensive impact completely neutralizing Portland's interior presence was championship-level dominance.
To me, when you're on the road and you come back being down double digits as a young squad and you stay poised and keep it together and end up winning by double digits, along with holding them under 100 points, damn it, you looking and you working with something.
That road composure is the ultimate championship test. Young teams typically fold under hostile playoff environments, but San Antonio's complete game turnaround while holding Portland under 100 points demonstrates rare mental toughness and elite coaching adjustments.